What is up, guys, and welcome back to another brand new video. This time around, we're heading off to the Austrian Grand Prix and sprint weekend number 2. This is the second sprint event for the season. So yeah, heading off for the Austrian Grand Prix. If you haven't seen the last episode, make sure you check that out first, or if you want to anyway, you can click in the top right hand corner of the screen, or you can click the link in the description below. But heading off to Austria this weekend, this is a track where I think it's a bit more suited to the player. I think because the AI do tend to be a little bit slower, and I do find that Austria is a track where I'm actually pretty decent at. So yeah, so now we got a team acclaim level 10, which means that we were able to sign another sponsor, or a secondary sponsor, onto the car. So we decided to sign with Distort. I didn't really see any other sponsor objectives that looked realistic enough. So we went with Distort, which was complete all the practice programs. I know that sounds a bit lame and it sounds a bit easy to do, but honestly, there was no other sponsor that I could find that we were gonna easily achieve, given the car that we have at the moment. So as you saw, just looking through the driver sponsors, this is our last race before we get to the drivers contracts for season 2. Or not for season 2, but to sign for the rest of the season. So I had a look at, who was available. And I do have a few in mind though. But here, the forecast there, we do have some rain at the start of qualify. So does that play a part in what we can do? I don't know. Chucking in the old components just for practice. We're going to lower the AI difficulty down a little bit. I feel like I've underestimated how easy the practice programs are to achieve. Well, some of them anyway. I really underestimated, how low I'm dropping the AI. Maybe I could just leave the AI numbers as it is. But no upgrades that went on the card. There was a durability upgrade that failed. I don't remember what that was, but yeah, it didn't quite go on. Durability is not going to do much anyway, in all honesty. The only upgrades that we probably can consider is a aero, chassis, and engine power, or the powertrain side of things at the moment anyway. But well, we've completed practice 1. We're not going to do practice 2 though, because that is going to be after qualifying, which we are going to do right now. Alrighty then, qualifying time now. Not going to do the usual 66, wait for everyone to do their laps, because if it is going to rain, I want to get out there right now so we can at least get in a time, and hopefully it's good enough to get us into Q2. If we can get into Q2, then that would be a welcome retrieve, or welcome approval, to be honest. But if you look very closely to the halo, you can see that the raindrops are already starting to come down, and DRS is now disabled. So we've taken the advantage of using the DRS 3 times, so we can get this lap done and over with, and hopefully it is enough to get us into Q2, or at least get us close enough to get into Q2. If it's a good enough lap, then that is definitely good enough. What's the time? An 8 flat. Let's hope that is enough to get us in. But look at the track. Look how quickly it's dried up, or it's gotten wet already. And that was Joe, who we're about to pass. That he just came out as we were going through turn 1. He came out on intermediates. So anyone who's goes out now on inters probably won't get the benefit of the lap, because a lot of us that did do our laps, or some of us that did our laps, would have had the advantage of DRS. And if you don't have your wheeling open, you're not going to gain. You're really not going to gain much other than yes. And unfortunately, Oscar was one of them. He went out late. He doesn't have his DRS open. He's going through the last corner now. Where does this lap Put he's like 4, 5, 6 seconds, 6 and a bit seconds off the pace, and he's 17. So it's not enough for him to get into Q2. And well, Sonoda tops the session, and we get through into P5, and that is a Q2 appearance. And Oscar dropped down to P20. Carlos Sainz has got a grip penalty. What did he do? Illegal blocking. Okay. Well, I wouldn't have had any chance of seeing what he did, but anyway, it is what it is. We'll move on now into Q2. Heavy rain.
Conditions as they are, I'd suggest you take a set of full wets.
Full wets look like the way to go at the moment. But so the plan is now is put a bit more fuel up, put 6 or 7 laps worth of fuel up. We could do a couple of flyers, let the battery recharge, and then we'll do another lap or two, and then maybe decide what to go from there, because you can't really predict what the conditions are going to do nowadays. But 17-1 as our first main car. I think this is the same lap. I'm pretty sure, or was it? Or did we do a cooldown? I don't understand. I wasn't looking at the leaderboard, but lap 2. So this might have been our secondary run. But yeah, going through the last corner, it wasn't really much of an improvement. Well, we did find a bit more time through the mid-center, but the horrible run out of the last corner meant that we lost all that momentum, which wasn't really great at all. Letting Charles Leclerc go through on his latest lap. I wasn't going to give him any benefits of a slipstream, but this time we did a cool down lap, and now we are going again through turn 1, bit wide. Yeah, hung up on top of the curb. Not really much to go, but we're going to fast forward through the rest of this lap, and we're gaining more time. I don't know if it's because we recharge our battery, or maybe the conditions are getting better. So I've decided to. We've got 7 minutes. I feel like I want to nail turn 1 a little bit easier. I know turn 1 is definitely where we can find more time. So we're going to slow down, recharge as much of our battery as possible, and we are going to go again. This is the run through turn 1 once again. It's better, I'll say that much. But on the run to turn 2, well, we're almost exactly the same. So I'm not even sure what the point was in slowing down. But I feel like I know. But the reason why I slowed down is that I know I can definitely do better. I can definitely find more time than because I know the areas where I can definitely push more, and the areas where I know I just got to keep the car in a straight line. Run through 8 and 9 or 7 and 8 wasn't really that good, so I think we're going to come in. Are we? No, we're going to finish this lap. And it is going to be a bit of over a 9/10 improvement, 9.5 tenths roughly, as we cross the line. P13, 62, and we are currently 13th at the moment. That's not enough.
Intermediate tyres are your best bet in the current conditions.
Okay, now Mark's saying intermediates. I did check the delta to see how fast the inters were. They're not really that fast according to Live Delta, but where we lower the fuel load and we get the car as light as possible, because 3.5 laps for a single flying lap is a little bit ridiculous. So we're letting the cars go through, but Gasly, he's wanting to let me back pass, which I am not liking. He moves over, and Leclerc nearly gets taken out. And once again, I'm pretty much stopping on the road. And seriously, I'm getting really fed up of what's going on here. I'm simply trying to let the AI pass, and they're not even going past. Eventually, Gasly gets past, and now we are going to set off and do our flying lap. Well, these two squabble it out. Joe and Alonso, they're scrapping out for the battle of, who's going to get the slipstream. Well, none of them are going to improve if they keep that up. Well, I mean, our best bet could be to get in front of those two. If those two don't even improve, well, they'll improve because they're on the intermediates. Well, everyone apart from Ocon is on inters, or did he just come out? Go to the pit lines. I look at the minimum. No, he didn't. So we're dropping down the field now. It's going to be a bit over a 2 second improvement. I'm not sure if the slipstream from Gasly was really much of a benefit, if I'm being totally honest. Through the last corner, good rotation, and on the run up to the line, where are we going to go? Not ahead of Gasly, I don't think. Where are we? 14. So I do think that we were in front, or we are in front of Alonso and Joe. But yes. So yeah, 14th in the worst car. Not a bad result. Of course, we do have the sprint to come up, and we do have practice 2 to finish off as well, which we did. So we've got 1114 resource points to spend. What are we gonna? What upgrades are we gonna look at? We can't do any drag reduction or aero upgrade because we don't have facility spec 3. Front downforce we'll still get on in time for France. Weight reduction, no, not really. Tire wear, that'll get on for France. That would be nice. So we can't do anything else in the chassis. What about powertrain? Can we do something? We can do fuel efficiency. That would be one. For that, but that won't get on time until just in time for Belgium. Engine power, definitely get on for Spa. It is going to be tight, but it'll be worth it.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint.
Alright, they're not wasting any time as it is already 11 minutes into this video, nearly 12 minutes now, and well, this I knew this was going to be a long episode given the fact of how long a sprint weekend can go. Anyway, 5 red lights for the sprint, and we are racing finally. That was a very long hole. Decent reaction off the line compared to Albon and Gasly. Everyone on the mediums. Should be a straightforward race. Hopefully. Bit of a corner cut there. Only did that to avoid any other contact. Front tyres still are a little bit cold. Joe gets us on the run towards turn 2. We've got no momentum. Didn't want to use too much. Battery nearly rear-ended Joe there. Oh my God, how many close calls have we had this season? Argy-bargy with Alonso now through turn 3. It's actually turn 3, not turn 2, sorry. But Joe gets us. Anyway, look at the straight line speed that these guys have got on the inside now of Sebastian Vettel at turn number 4. And now that's done, let's see if we can stick around and maybe have a look. But Vettel has a look up our inside. There's contact on the run to turn 6 and now on to turn 7. This is not what I really want because now Joe and Alonso have finished their squabble, but Seb is still trying to find a way. He's going to have a look up the inside. At turn 9, we give him a lot of space. Well, we were almost forced off the track because I didn't even see. Well, I didn't think that Vettel would even go for that. That's not a spot that really you want to be making an overtake. At least you get a monster run out of turn 8. But, wow, yellow flag up ahead. Now, what's going on over here? That's Hamilton. That's in the fence, and he's out of the race on lap number 2. So something has happened to Hamilton that has forced him to retire from this race. He has a look up the inside of Lando, I think it was, and Ricciardo finishes him off. He puts him towards the barrier, and that is Hamilton's sprint done on lap number 2. Gee, the AI are absolutely ridiculous today. And now this is Ricciardo coming into the pits to change the front wing. So Ricciardo's had to change the front wing because I think he might have been the one that finished off Hamilton in the end. So what size is he going on to? Another set of mediums. Okay. Wow, what a crazy start this race has been. Not quite ready for a restart just yet. However, we're going to overtake all of these guys because I want to make a pit stop. Because Ricciardo hasn't caught up to the back of the queue, I thought this would be a good opportunity to come into the pits and chuck on a set of soft compound tyres. We're going to be at the back of the train anyway, so I thought, why not? We're going to get away with overtaking those guys. We're not going to get a penalty because we've given up all those positions into the pit lane. But on go the soft compound tyres. They'll easily make it to the end, and hopefully, if we've gambled this right, we can hopefully. Well, we might even get we might even get back to the same position where we started yesterday. But, you know, well, since we're under safety car, I thought, why not? Let's take a bit of a gamble, and let's just see what happens. Anyway, safety car into the pit lane right now. Probably could have gone another lap. Maybe I could have just held back a little bit, maybe go another lap. So I could probably, you know, try and lower the fuel load, or try and burn a bit of fuel under the safety car. Anyway, back to green flag running. Halfway through this sprint already, we've already had what, two green flag laps, and now we are back underway through turn 1. It is gonna take a couple of minutes for everyone's tires to get up to temperature. So let's hope we can get whatever track position we can get. A little bit conservative into turn 3. Oscar getting mauled up ahead by GoTV up ahead, and now Ricardo is having a look up the inside at turn 9. This is going to be a bit tasty. He'll have the inside for turn 10. And we're going to have a look up the inside of Latifi, and Ricardo and Oscar are having a little bit of an argy-bargy moment. And that is, well, we've only going one spot, which is a little bit disappointing. Yellow flag up ahead. What's going on? There's an absolute traffic jam, and we have gone round the outside. Safety car is deployed again. That's legal. That is legal. All those spots we gained are legal. What? How is that legal? We've gone round the outside off the track, and how did we get away with that? Anyway, here's a replay of what happened. 4 wide into turn 1, and Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri is actually one that got pinched, and he's the one that was spun round. And Aston Martin's lost their way. There's us going wide, and Oscar is in the mix of that as well, and he gets through. He gets through eventually. This is what happened. So who's that on the inside? Alonso, Ocon. I don't know who it was, but yeah, look at the train of cars. The stack of cars are just stuck there. This is on board with GoTV. Well, GoTV being GoTV has no clue what's going on. Late reaction, doesn't know what he's doing, dangerous driving. Anyway, this is on board with Oscar. He's lost his front wing. I'm not. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'd imagine a few cars would need to come into the pit to change a front wing, but in the meantime, we've got a Haas and an Aston Martin that are stuck. They're stuck on the curb at the apex of turn 1, and there is the Aston Martin safety car who is giving them a little wave. But look at them, they are literally stuck until eventually Sam was able to get away. I think it's there, but he's lost a front wing and he's pulled off. So I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what's going on there. But gee, that was a hectic moment there. Oh, that's why Seb's pulled off. He's been disqualified, and I think the Haas might be too, because I think I know the reason why. Because they were stuck on the apex, and because someone's off the road. It's Ocon. He's also out. So this is a replay, slow mo. And you can see it was Magnussen that was also stuck at the apex with Vettel, and then you can see. So I think because they were stuck at the apex and they couldn't move, that the FIA has decided, nah, you're part in a dangerous spot. You got to get disqualified. To be honest, that's a bit stiff. They're hung up on the curb. What else are they meant to do? Honestly. Well. Now that the field has caught up to the back of the train. Oscar and I think someone else is into the pit lane as well. So the next lap, we're getting ready to go back to green flag running, and hopefully, and we just might get ahead of Lance Stroll. He might be the only one we can overtake in the last 3 laps as we get ready to go back to green flag racing for the last 3 laps. Please, can we have 3 laps of green flag running, please? I don't want to see another safety car come out once again. So, back to green flag running out of turn 1. We can probably yeet nearly all of our battery. However, I do want to save a little bit for the last, in case these guys do use all of that. We've nearly rear-ended Lance Stroll on the run to turn 3. We got a warning for exceeding track limits.
Turbochargers on his last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum.
Okay, so the turbocharger is on its last legs. It doesn't matter, we're going to replace that before the start of this race. It was only going to be used for 12 laps anyway. Well, I mean, 4 or 5, 6 laps of green flag running, if you actually think about it. So so it hasn't really done much today. Tried to set up a move on Stroll. We've missed the apex at turn 1. Would have been a great run, and maybe have a look, but we were just too far back. But also, one thing I do want to point out, the AI have been quite ridiculous coming out of turn 3. I thought I was pretty good coming out of turn 3 early in the weekend. Like, the rotation was superb, but yeah, it wasn't really helping me out much at the end of the day. So in the end, it's P8. We do get a point for finishing in 8, because it's only top 8 that gets points in the sprint. So we do get a point, thankfully. And driver of the day. Do we really want to say that? Well, I did gain those 5-6 positions. Oscar got his way back up into 14. So sorry, big yawn there. It's midday here in Australia by recording this video, but yeah, look at those guys that have come into the pit lane to change the front wing. So Oscar got his way up into 14. It's decent track position for the two of us. We're not down at the bottom, but the real aim is to get both cars into the top 16 or top 15.
Welcome from the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's have a chat about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Verstappen, Lando Norris and Stroll. Skip, Mick Schumacher, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz. Joe, Gasly, Oscar Piastri and Bottas. Tsunoda, Albon, Esteban Ocon and Sebastian Vettel. Magnussen, Latifi, Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Okay then, well, 36 laps ahead of us. There is still a lot of time for more action, although I am kind of hoping that we get a little bit less, given how hectic that sprint race was. Anyway, we're not gonna start on the hards. We're gonna start on the mediums, then finish on the hards. I'm pretty ambitious to do a two-soft strategy involving the two soft compound setting, using 2 sets of softs. But no, I think the more realistic option would be to start on the hards, or start on the mediums, I should say. Sorry, and on the hards. So start on mediums, end on hards, because we're in the top 10 at the moment right now. If we're gonna have any chance of getting more points, I think we're gonna have to do what everyone else does. I think our closest rival could be the car on our right, Lance Stroll. He might be our closest rival today. If we could stay with him and maybe defend from some of the other cars behind us, we could be within a shot of maybe getting some more points. Anyway, here we go. 5 red lights ahead of 36 laps of the Austrian Grand Prix, and we are racing here at the Red Bull Ring. Good stuff from Scholl up ahead of us. We are defending from Mick Schumacher up ahead. How daring are we? Into turn 1. Not exactly daring. However, the cars in front didn't really get much of a great exit. We're going to use a bit of our battery on the run up to turn 2 just to try and stay with these guys a little bit. We're side by side now with Alonso. At least Guan Yu Zhai isn't ahead of us, and we can dive bomb Lando and Stroll. Can we get a good exit? I feel like as the weekend has gone on, we haven't got a run out of turn 3 all weekend. You'll see why later on in the race. But we're going to do a mega send on light into turn 4. No contact. Very nicely done indeed. Now we're back up into P5. P5 in the slowest car. And as you can see in top 4, Verstappen, Russell, Leclerc, who is leading, and Perez in second. Well, they're all going to run away from us now. There's no chance we'll stick with them. So we are now effectively the leader of this train of cars. Well, horrible run coming out of turn 9, or going through turn 9. But that was a better line out of turn 10, the final corner. And now the DRS is enabled. We're going to have a look at what's going on in the back. This is on board with Albon, who makes it 3 wide into turn 1. He gets the better run. Oscar gets a good flowing run around the outside. But has DRS even been enabled yet? Or was this lap 2? Oh no, this must be a replay of what happened on lap 2. And look at Vettel making it 3 wide into turn number 3. And Oscar, well, he's still in front of the Alpine. This is on board with Seb, mega set, and he sends it on the AlphaTauri of Tsunoda, and he doesn't quite get past. Tsunoda must have got a bit more of the flowing run around the outside, but Seb, 2 for the price of 1, effectively there. But yeah, well, lap 4 now, back to us, and I could hear some bumping in the background, and it's Norris and Stroll who are jostling, and Stroll has unfortunately lost out to Lance. There's contact. He gets a little bit sideways and doesn't quite get a better run, unlike Lando Norris. So Lando is through, and Stroll might even lose out because I don't. Oh no, he does have DRS. He must have been just within the detection line of us. But if these guys can keep squabbling, it'll allow us to get away. But I'm not so sure how long that's going to last. Well, this is a feisty battle pack that is unfolding before our eyes. Is that Alonso that's going side by side with Lance? Yes, it is. So Lance has lost out big time. He's lost 3 spots, pretty much. And we are on lap number 5. So plane is going as accordingly as I would hope for. We're going to see if we can defend from Lando. I mean, it would be miraculous if we can defend the whole race. We're going to force him to go to the outside. He can't find his way around, and we hold on for a little while longer. But the question is, how long? I'm not so sure if we can defend for much longer, because Lando is in a McLaren. He's in a faster car than us, and we're going to try and grab some of his DRS. But this is a great example. Look at the exit, and look how quickly he gets away. That is ridiculous speed from the McLaren, and we gained a bit of that back with using our battery and with our rear wing open, but not enough. If we could somehow stay with Lando, that would be great. If we could stay a little bit sideways, and yeah, I feel like the car just overturns just a little bit, and you know that's almost killing our momentum. I'm not sure what exactly is going on. Now we're getting overtaken by Mick Schumacher. I tried to do the switchback, but yeah, he parked the bus at the apex pretty well actually. Anyway, so if we're gonna get overtaken by these guys, which is almost a guarantee, I want to do it without losing too much time by just letting him go and just grabbing their DRS. There was a yellow flag behind us. I wonder who that for. It's a slow Alfa Romeo of Valtteri. Yes, Valtteri Bottas. You can see the smoke pouring out of the car. He is out of this Austrian Grand Prix. Meantime, back to us, and we are trying to set up a move on Mick, but yeah, another good example. Look how quickly he gets away. The AI have ridiculous traction coming off turn 2 or coming off turn 3. I'd say it's really turn 3, but everyone calls it turn 2 because of the I don't even know why that's. If you look at the minimap, you can see a slight bend on the run up to turn 3. Yeah, right here you can see the little bend. It's called a turn. It's for me, it's not really much of a turn. Mistake here at turn 3, and we've gone off the track. No track limits warnings, thank you very much. But we are going to be under pressure from Alonso. We're going to leave the door open to go the long way round, but we'll have the inside for the corner. We've hit our apex nicely, and we hold on to P7 at the moment. But that squabbling has allowed Mick to get away, and now we're outside the 1 second DRS window, which is not exactly ideal. Quickly checking the process of how Oscar is doing. He has dropped down the field a little bit, which is one I'm not really surprised about. Now he's gonna get mauled up or gobbled up by Alex Albon, who doesn't get a good run out of there actually. And Oscar was far enough back at the detection line to grab some DRS. So fair play from Oscar there. He's done that really well. He can do that if he can show that he could. Excuse me. If he can show that he could do that, just hold back at the detection line and grab that DRS, and even if he is in front, then he might still have a future with our team. I really want to re-sign Oscar for the rest of this season, or maybe throughout the entire gameplay, if that's even possible. So really, that's our aim. If Oscar can show that he can defend and, well, kind of defend without having to rely on getting someone's DRS in front of him, then that would be a welcoming sign that he can fight even with some of the front-running cars like Ricardo for once, except that Ricardo has been at the back for a little while. There's another yellow flag up ahead. There's a slow car of Mick Schumacher that's got a drama of some sort, and he is going to pull off. Yep, there he goes, and he is out of the race. The second retirement of this race. Unfortunate for Mick there, and there is Leclerc just going past and give him a nice cheery little wave, if only he could see him. Anyway, Ricardo into the pit lane now for his one and only stop, I would assume. Off goes the hards onto the mediums. And one thing I do want to also point out was that Oscar did start on the hard compound tyre, so he might be looking for a strong finish in this race, but he's going to need a safety car to do that. Carlos Sainz now has a look at us at turn 6, turn 7, whatever it is, and well, he's come off second best. He's out into the infield, probably a little bit too desperate to try and make that move if you think about it. Now everyone else, some other cars are now coming into the pit lane. We were coming into the pit lane ourselves. Charles Leclerc and car 1, Max Verstappen into the pit lane. Lando Norris into the pits as well. I would assume all of these guys will be going on to hard compound tyres. I'd be pretty surprised if they go into softs. It means that they'll be doing a 2-stop. We're nearly at the halfway point now in this race, and there we are now trundling down the pit lane. The Alpine has also made a pit stop as well. I think that was Alonso that's made their stop. The Haas is in as well. Guan Yu Zhou is into the pit lane as well. So is the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. The Mercedes of Hamilton, Gasly and Stroll into the pit lane for a set of hard compound tyres. They're all going to go to the end of the race now. I would only assume that they will go to the end of the race unless something else happens in this race, which, to be honest, I just want to have a nice straightforward race. I want to have, just focus on my own race for once and just kind of settle into a rhythm and just get on with the job, basically. Right now, so at the end of our first flying lap, 2 green boxes, out of the last turn, 6th gear. I like to use high gears through some of the higher speed corners, so the rear is a bit more stable, 108.5. But yeah, I really like to use higher gears just so the rear is so stable, and just so we look after the tyre wear on the rear as well. A little bit worried about the front as well. I feel like I'm using a bit more juice out of the tyres, a fair bit as well. So you can see the gap between us and Piastri right there. So the gap is coming down ever so slowly. But one thing I probably could do, probably a bit late to do it now, was just literally back the pack off and give Oscar just enough time to hopefully gain some more positions in this race. However, we still have some other cars behind us, Lewis Hamilton in P9 being one of them, and Carlos Sainz, another one who's also kind of buried in that little race pack that you're seeing on the minimap. So they're really the two guys that are going to worry us yet, if Sainz even gets to us. But one man who's definitely going to get us, or no, right now, is Lewis Hamilton. We got a shocking run out of turn 2, and well, Hamilton did get the better run. I feel like as the weekend's gone on, we have literally struggled so much through turn 2. We can't even get the traction down quick enough, or the car almost kind of bottoms out. If you think about it. So Lewis is now blown away, and well, I only hope it's grab some of his DRS for a lap anyway before he gets away. And yeah, so bit of a disappointment now. Oscar Piastri also made his stop. He's got a long way to go if he wants to catch up to the rest of the guys. So to be honest, I thought we had better pace than Guan Yu Zhou behind us, because we were definitely faster than him in the first stint, but we haven't been fast in this second stint. But one man who is definitely making more progress now is Carlos Sainz, who again doesn't quite get a good run out of there, but well, he's got a faster car than the AlphaTauri anyway, so he should be able to get past on the run up to turn number 3. He'll have the inside, but can Gasly hold around the outside? He can, sort of, but I think we've seen another action as it is this weekend, so I think we'll just let those two sort it out. So and if you look at the leaderboard, Sainz is now up into the points, and well, there's the engine warning. So on the MFD, so obviously one of the components on the car has reached 60%. Once a component reaches 60%, that is where that sign will come in. And well, to be honest, that's the sign on a power track that you really don't want to see. In our case, anyway. Well, my aim right now is to get to Belgium so we can chuck on some new, brand new components to run on a couple of power tracks. Spa being one of them, and of course Monza. I'm really trying to get minimum grid penalties so we don't have to worry about them too much towards the end of the season, because if we are going to be still contending for points, I really want to figure out how we're going to get that far without having to use too many grid penalties, if we can even fight the car that we have. Well, we've been able to fight Carlos Sainz. We were able to stay back far enough behind him on the detection line so we could grab some DRS and just stay in front for the time being. Has Sainz learned his lesson from before the pit stops to not go for a crazy send? I think he has, because he hasn't sent one. But well, he got DRS the following lap, and we're going to grab some. And if we can get a clean run out of turn 1, are we even going to bother fighting Sainz for this position? Is he even going to get past us anyway? Well, we're not using too much of our battery, but we are gaining. He defends the inside. We didn't outbrake ourselves, but well, look at the speed that he gets. Anyway, wow. So well, we've grabbed his DRS so we can hold off of the cars behind for a little while longer, and we do get another dose right here, right now. If we could grab another dose up towards turn 4, then we could be in the box seat to almost hold on for the rest of the race, I reckon. If we could just keep a gap to what, 7-8 tenths for the rest of the race. I know that sounds like an ask, but you know, I'm not so sure which other way I'd rather see us, in all honesty. Anyway, right through it out of turn 2, you can see shocking run, and just can't just step sideways, but Zhou gets the better run. He's got DRS. We're going to yeet our battery. Are we going to go for a mega send? He leaves the door open, and we're going to send it into turn 4. There's no contact, and that is job done. But Zhou, look at he might have used his battery to get up the inside, and we're going to try and set up a switchback. We do have a bit more grip. There's an overlap, and there is guaranteed contact there. There is contact. Great aerial shot from above, and we are now side by side. And at this point, I've decided to back out because I want a dose of DRS, and I don't think Zhou was away to that. Like, oh yeah, I've got P9, but what he doesn't know is that I've got DRS behind. So now the aim is to get a good run out of turn 1. Can we get a good run out of turn 1? Yes, we definitely can. Zhou was a little bit sideways at the exit, and now we've got a dose of DRS and not using too much of our battery, 30% remaining. We are going to send it, but also keep the car back far enough, and we squeeze him out pretty aggressively there. And we do get another dose of DRS. We're going to use our battery, and hopefully the cars behind can have a little squabble with themselves, and I can get away. But while all that was happening behind us, this battle pack behind us, Gasly, Ocon, and Mick Schumacher. Oh no, it's Kevin Magnussen, sorry. Magnussen, he's trying to go the inside, almost looked like he got pinched, almost, as he tried to get a run on, or look up the inside of Gasly at turn 3. Not really a spot you see someone go up the inside, because really, you want to be saving or getting a good run, and with your with your rear wing open. But Zhou managed to get back past Gasly. Well, not for long, anyway. So Gasly goes round the outside, and again the car that's on the inside has had contact with, or wheel-to-wheel contact, and they don't get the best run. Well, yeah. So Gasly ahead didn't get a dose of DRS. So Zhou and Gasly might have been literally dead even at the detection line. That's probably why none of them have DRS. Anyway, so now Zhou has gone from 10th to 12th, 13th, whatever it is. And now Gasly is the next car we have to worry about. If we could just get through lap 34 without him getting DRS, I think we might be able to just hold on. There might be one lap that he might be a bit of a threat, and that might be the last lap. Anyway, Ricciardo looking at the inside of Albon. Well, that's been the story of the race, where the car on the inside has got wheel-to-wheel contact, and the other gets the better run, and Oscar is almost the beneficiary on those fresh medium tyres. Big lock-up. That's going to leave a flat spot on that right front. But he gets through on his fellow countryman, and now he's probably going to get another lap or so before he can...
Pace were leading our teammate by 11.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 18th. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 08.9.
Okay, I just wanted a quick update on how Oscar was doing. He was about a pit stop behind us, but on those fresher mediums, he's been able to slowly gain. But if you got the gap to within 8 seconds or so, I'd say that's a decent recovery, but it's not to be. But even under 10 seconds is still a fair effort, considering he was the pit stop behind us. Anyway, last lap. Gasly has a look, but again, we've played the cards perfectly, and we have gotten a dose of DRS, and that dose might just help us hold on to P9 in this race. Another points finish in the slowest car. That is almost a welcome approval or welcome retrieve here for us to get any points or the maximum points possible in a car that's real. I've said it a couple of times. A car that shouldn't even be in the top 10. But well, we're going to come away this weekend with 3 points if you count the point from the sprint. Carlos Sainz sets the fastest lap, so he took the fastest lap point off of Max Verstappen, I think, who set the fastest lap previously. But we're going to come out of the last turn in P9 and 3 points for the weekend.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
A fantastic team effort then to secure victory here in the Styrian Alps. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
Well, once again, Ferrari continue to find a way to get onto that top step of the podium. Even though Red Bull are slowly catching them at the moment, the gap between race wins at the end of the race is coming down ever so slightly. So I think Red Bull are on the march back, or on the march back towards the top. But is it already too little too late? I mean, something dramatic is going to have to happen if Verstappen, Perez and Red Bull can find a way to get their car in a championship winning position. But given when we look at the standings in a second, I don't see how that is even going to happen. Well, 3 points to take away from the weekend. Oscar dropping down back to, well, where the car really is at the moment. But well, I'm not sure what Oscar's really meant to do. He is a rookie after all, and maybe I was a little bit harsh on some of our form on Christian Lundgaard and Robert Schwartzman. Maybe, I don't know. But I really want to keep Oscar on board for the rest of this season, or for the rest of this career mode. But if you saw the gap a second ago, Verstappen is 101 points behind at the halfway point of this season, and Red Bull are 228 points behind in the Constructors' Championship. So they've got a long way to go if they're going to have any chance of winning the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship. They've got seriously a long way to go. And we've got a long way ourselves. We're probably not even going to be fighting for race wins until probably towards the end of season 2, maybe. Well, depending what kind of car we have, and even if we can get Oscar, you know, fighting with some of the midfield teams, like upper midfield, or literally around the midfield, like fringe points. If we can get Oscar fighting for fringe points next season, then we could be on the road to something, towards something in the future seasons. So yeah, that's honestly the aim. I really want to keep Oscar on board with this team for the entirety of this journey, and I hope you guys can stay with us for the whole way out ourselves. But well, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. What a hectic sprint weekend it has been. I know it's been a long video, but when you've got a sprint weekend involved, it's really hard not to keep action to a minimum. And trust me, I know what that's like. I mean, even editing this video, it took such a long time to do so. But with the French GP coming up next, I don't think it's going to be this long of an episode next time out. But well, another weekend of chaos, another weekend of absolute drama, absolutely everywhere. Well, I'm actually looking forward for a couple of races where we could just have a straightforward race, unlike this battle with Zhao in the last few laps. But yeah, well, what a weekend it has been. A sprint weekend and a 36 lap race full of action. That's probably enough action for me anyways. But thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a massive thumbs up if you really enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new to see plenty more F1 and racing game content. Until the next one, I'll see you next time.